Alright, so let's have a look at some practice. So the practice I've got here, create a use case diagram describing the process of purchasing an item on eBay. Follow the 5 steps to try and do that. Now you've just got to essentially think about, okay, who are the people that would be included in purchasing an item? So identify the actors. Well, obviously you need someone who's a buyer, but a buyer cannot buy something unless someone has actually put up an auction. So there's going to be also require a seller. There can also be another group. Generally speaking, a lot of systems there'll be a group like an administrator, so like someone who works at eBay. Like what could they do in this whole process? Now what I'll get you to do, or you can I guess try this now, you can have a go at writing it yourself. The next slide I've actually got a sort of an answer that I've got for this purchasing an item on eBay use case. It's actually quite detailed essentially. Again, probably more than you'll see in the exam questions, but I'll just go through that as well now. Again, if you want to give yourself a chance to go through it yourself, do that now. And I'm going to look at the actual answer in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Okay, so here's a possible answer. Once again, actually in the exam they accept sometimes variations on the answer because they're not always 100% correct. Let's try and explain what's happening here. So the first thing I did was identify the actors. So I've got my buyer, I've got my seller, and I've got an admin person from eBay. The next thing I did was draw my boundary. I've actually made a mistake here, so I've got to put eBay purchasing item up here. Again, this is the idea of the whole system. Okay, it's not so much like a particular program exactly. It's like a whole system and how it works. Let's have a look. A buyer can browse. Okay, they can browse eBay and have a look and see what's there. They can place a bid. So they can say, okay, I'm going to put $50 on whatever they're going to purchase. They can also store their own details, like their name, their address, and all those type of things. Now you can see here, so the buyer places a bid. That includes them logging in. You can't place a bid on, you can browse the eBay store, eBay website, without having an account, anything. But if you want to place a bid, you need to have a login, or you need to have logged in. So you can see that's why it's got this includes logging in. This is a very, very common use case that you'll see a lot of the time in exams. And a lot of the time, a lot of use cases will point back. Now again, place bid, I have to log in. It's an includes use case and it points away from the actor. Same as this one here. The buyer can store details, which includes logging in. The seller, what they can do, they can store their details and includes them logging in. I also got that they can browse. Maybe you didn't need to put that one in. That's not a big deal. But again, a seller can browse without having to log in. That's the type of thing they can do. But the seller can also create a listing. That includes them logging in. You cannot create a listing on eBay without having logged in first. Okay, that's how we're reading this. The administrator, I've got there they can charge fees. That's it. Now I guess that would probably include them logging in as well, but for the sake of this one, it probably doesn't need to be included. But you could point an includes arrow up to login as well for this. Like I said, the login use case is very common, which you'll see in a lot of exam questions as well. Now, some extends, and again, these are optional use cases. So the idea here, I've got pay for item is an extension of placing a bid. Now, if you place a bid as a buyer, you do not need to pay for the item because you may not win the item. It's only if you win it. That's why it's got an extension here. So I place a bid that includes that I've logged in. I didn't win, so I can't write includes paying for it because that's an optional thing. It's only going to occur if I win the item. So that's why I've got pay for item is an extension of if you place a bid and of course you win the auction. Same deal with the seller here. So you can see again the extends are pointing back towards the actor. I'm going to charge the buyer on my listing that I've created. Again, that requires that someone has purchased or has placed a bid on whatever listing you have put up onto eBay. So it's optional. So charge the buyer is an extension of creating the listing. Again, the extension points back towards the actor. Look, this is not an exact science, it's just showing how the system can get used, okay, and it's logical, okay, there's sort of logical steps going through it. Okay, so that's that one there. Let's have a look at an exam question, and we'll probably look at two, then that'll be it, because I think we're up for about 20 minutes already. Okay, so this was question 5 in 2014, with 3 marks. The manager of a real estate agency is having new software developed. He wants to be able to use the software in order to maintain the information on the system, as well as add and remove new rentals. So this is where the information is in the question stem. All his agents need to be able to add the details of the new clients who take up a rental property. Everyone must log in. Complete the use case diagram below to show the stated requirements. Now, because it's worth 3 marks, there are probably 3 things you need to include. Okay, so what you do is you read the question stem and you go through and check, has everything been included? Okay, the manager of a real estate agency, there's the manager here. Oh, how timely. He wants to be able to use the software in order to maintain the information on the system. So here's the manager. He can maintain information. Good. So that one's on there as well as add and remove new rentals. So maintaining new information, here it is there. Add and remove new rental properties. So that's already been included as a use case, and it's an extension of maintaining information. So he's maintaining information. An optional extra to that, an extension, is to add and remove new rental properties. So that whole first sentence is complete. It's on there. Next, all his agents, here are the agents here, need to be able to add the details of new clients who take up a rental property. Now, there's nothing here to say add details of new clients. Now, what I would do at this stage is draw a new use case here. Add details of new clients. That would be, so that's 1 mark there. Add details of new clients. Everyone must log in. Okay, we don't see a login use case yet. Now, I would put it into this blank one here because everyone must log in, and we've got here maintain information includes we have to do something. Everyone must log in. Okay, so this includes must be log in. So I'm going to write log in here. That takes up this one. So that's the answer's going to come in a second. There's going to be a use case here for add the details of new clients. This will be the login use case, and there's going to be an includes pointing down from the use case here down to this login use case. So it'll be the estate agent can add the details of new clients, which includes them having logged in first. Okay, so that's going to be the answer. So it's going to be an extra use case, an arrow here, and a login there. Let's check and see if I got that right. Okay, add new details, log into the system, and the includes pointing in that direction there. Good, because you have to do that. Let's have a look at the mark breakdown. So 30% got nothing. I'm not sure how you get nothing. That means you literally don't know anything about how a use case diagram works. 26% got 1. So what? Over half were able only to get 1 mark. And you can see, look, you can see how it's interesting how 30% got 3. So people that understand it usually get full marks, which is kind of seems interesting, but it's very hard to get 2. Like you either don't really get it at all, or you get it fully. Many students struggle to interpret the scenario and include a range of relevant items on the use case diagram. Students are encouraged to highlight key text, as they are working through each question. Okay, like I did here, I went through and said, right, is each part of the sentence being included? Okay, that's an exam question there. Here's the exam from 2016. There's a question related to the case study. Okay, I won't go through this for the moment, but it's question number 3 in 2016. So same deal. Suli begins to prepare a use case diagram for the Keep Fit app, whatever that is. It'll be again discussed in the case study in this exam. A patient should be able to log in and do all these things. You've got to check and make sure, are all those use cases included? Are there correct includes and are there correct extends arrows? Okay, I would try have a go at this question and then check the answer, which you can find in our Compass website. As an exercise, this is what I'd like you to do the whole thing. Draw a use case diagram describing the process of a student submitting work to a Compass learning task. So the student can submit a piece of work, a teacher can mark that task, and a coordinator can view the results. Everyone must log in, which is, as you all know, what needs to be done. Work through these 5 steps, see if you can draw one of them. The simplest way to draw one of these is use the Google Drawing, which is a tool in your Google suite. Alright, that's about it, I think, for this one, gentlemen. It's gone from nearly 25 minutes, I think, so that'll be enough for now. Again, I'll try and make another video or 2 by the end of the week, and when I'm back, I'll be attending Homework Club to sort of give you some more help with some of the time that we've missed over the end of Term 1 and Term 2. Alright, thank you. See you later.